What's up, everybody? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm your host, Robert Durden, and today, again, I'm going to be going after Louis DeJoy, the Postmaster General. Now, if you guys remember correctly, I've done at least 2 or 3 other episodes on this douchebag. He was the guy that was installed as the Postmaster General by Trump about a year before the election, and his whole goal, his entire mission, was to sabotage the election and to make it more likely that Trump would win. And he did this via making voting by mail much more difficult, defunding a lot of areas in the USPS that would have made it easier to vote by mail. And he had a lot of mailboxes where you could turn in your ballots removed from especially Democratic areas, making it so that a lot of people, if you wanted to vote Democrat and actually turn in your ballot, by hand, you had to drive a long distance away, and therefore, it would de-incentivize a lot of the people in Democratic districts from voting. So there were numerous other fuckery going on with Louis DeJoy. He's one of the biggest assholes ever. And that was his entire point. Now, one of the things that I said the day that Joe Biden took office is that it had to be one of the things that it's an easy no-brainer and a slam dunk. You just fire Louis DeJoy and put a Postmaster General in there that is more democratic, literally more democratic, not just, more Democrat, but like democratic in that they want to make it easier to vote by mail, making this country, therefore, more democratic. And has Joe Biden fired him yet? No, he has not. I've been screaming about this for literally 4 or 5 months now. And I can't for the life of me figure out why you would not fire somebody who you know for a fact tried to sabotage the election against you. And he knows this, and I say that a little bit facetiously because I know the answer now. The fact that he has not gotten rid of DeJoy so far tells me everything I need to know. It means that Joe Biden is not for democracy and making our voting process easier. He does not care that DeJoy's in there, because DeJoy is going to make it easier for anybody like he or Trump to win. Especially if somebody progressive goes up against them, he knows that DeJoy will just do his bidding, Biden, and do the same exact tactics that he did for the Republicans for Joe Biden if he needs it. So let's not act like the Democrats are in any way better than the Republicans. I mean, they're a little bit better than Republicans in terms of not having super draconian voting laws. And in fact, the Republicans are doing everything they can to try to suppress the vote for the upcoming, midterms and 2024 election. But the Democrats' hands aren't clean either when it comes to election fraud and stuff like that. So it doesn't surprise me at all that Louis DeJoy has not been fired. Now, Louis DeJoy is in the news. I didn't just bring him up for no reason. He's in some deep trouble, okay? I'm going to read to you here from Common Dreams. The FBI has reportedly launched an investigation into whether Postmaster General Louis DeJoy violated federal campaign finance laws during his tenure as top executive at New Breed Logistics. That's where he was, I think, before he became Postmaster General. DeJoy is corrupt to the core, said Rep. Bill Pascal of New Jersey. He should be fired right now. That's correct. According to Washington Post, FBI agents in recent weeks interviewed current and former employees of DeJoy and the business, asking questions about political contributions and company activities. In a statement to the Post, DeJoy spokesperson Mark Corallo confirmed the Postmaster General is under investigation, but insisted that DeJoy has always been scrupulous in his adherence to the campaign contribution laws and has never knowingly violated them. They insert that knowingly in there to give him plausible deniability. Louis DeJoy, no one has tried to violate campaign laws and other laws involving the election than Louis DeJoy, but he's giving himself a plausible deniability. The FBI investigation follows bombshell reporting by the Post last year detailing DeJoy's alleged involvement in a straw donor scheme under which New Breed Logistics employees were reimbursed for making political donations. So it goes on to say in just a little bit, a couple more paragraphs, that basically New Breed Logistics employees were incentivized to go out and donate to Republicans and vote Republican, and they were literally reimbursed with extra on top of it if they could show Louis DeJoy that they had in fact donated to Republicans. So this dude is dirty as it gets, and he should be fired. Like fucking FBI probe, just fire him. And a lot of people will tell you, well, you can't directly fire him as Joe Biden. You have to let there's like a a group of 9, a board of directors or whatever, that gets to hire and fire the Postmaster General. They have to decide by majority to do so. And the fact is, I think 5 of those spaces are taken currently, and it's majority Republicans. But Joe Biden can fill all the rest of those jobs with all Democrats and have them all vote correct to get rid of DeJoy, or he can fire everybody. Joe Biden can fire the entire board and put in whoever he wants, and if he puts in the correct people, they'll get rid of DeJoy. So that's just a straw man. Joe Biden can indirectly get DeJoy out of there and get whoever he wants put in there. So don't get it twisted. So why hasn't he been fired yet, guys? Because Joe Biden and Donald Trump are more or less on paper about the same. They wear different colored ties to work, but if Joe Biden gave a fuck about election integrity, especially taking into account that this person, DeJoy, literally tried to cheat Biden himself, he would have fired him day 1. But it's day 120, day 130 or something at this point. Why is he not fired? The answer is that he doesn't want to fire him because he knows DeJoy might do the same thing for him if he gets coerced that way, and Joe Biden might need somebody like him as Postmaster General in an upcoming election if he thinks that the election's not going to go his way. If he had a modicum of principle when it comes to election integrity, DeJoy would have been gone day 1, but he's not. So there is only one remaining option. He doesn't want to fire him. And I'll let you guys draw conclusions as to why. But with somebody being so overtly Republican and overtly willing to cheat and overtly wrong for the job, this is a no-brainer. And I know Joe Biden doesn't have a brain, really, but even no-brain Joe can get this no-brainer right, and he's not, and there's a reason for that. So keep fighting the good fight. I hope that DeJoy has this probe go further. I don't have confidence that he'll get nailed on anything, even though it's obvious that he's dirty as fuck. And I don't know much more about what he was doing at New Breed Logistics. I wish the probe was literally, investigating him for what he did during the election cycle as Postmaster General. But they're not investigating him for that. They're investigating him for stuff that he did before that, in terms of telling his employees to go out and donate Republican, and if you can give me a receipt for how much you donated to Republicans, I will reimburse you plus some. And that's what they're looking into right now. So he still might get in some trouble, but I don't care how DeJoy gets out of that position. He's just got to go. But it is telling, really telling, that Joe Biden hasn't fired him yet, especially since he was nearly cheated of the election by DeJoy. Overtly. It was obvious. Yet Joe hasn't fired him. Wonder why? It's because he's a moderate Republican. So keep fighting the good fight, guys. I'll talk to you later.